So when I was thinking back of what Easter has meant to me over the years, there's so many different things that you can think of, being just getting the chocolate, going on Easter egg hunts, all about the Easter bunny, spending time with family and friends, or even just going to church. And pretty much every single one of those has meant something to me at some point, but everything has changed for me and what Easter means since I became a Christian, because it ends up being all about Jesus. When I was younger, Easter was all about the chocolate. It was all about the Easter egg hunt and spending time with family. We'd gather at my grandmother's place and just have an Easter egg hunt, have lunch, hang out, good fun. I've been, in church my entire life. Some of my earliest memories are growing up at church. I can think of being in the cry room at St Andrew's, Wurrunga. I've been at church my entire life. I've been a Sunday school kid, went to scripture, did youth group. I was the kid that did all those sort of things. But, even though I'd learn about who Jesus was, what he did, and how God created the world and all these different things, it was just a story. It didn't actually mean anything to me at the time. When I was in primary school, it was a really small primary school. We were all either from Christian families or were from a Catholic family, and that was sort of how the rest of the school just sort of, we all gelled together. It was really cool, and there was not many differences. But then that all changed when I went into high school, because we got exposed to all these new different people. It became more about trying to fit in, and that's what I did. I'd hang out with my mates, and we'd just chew the fat, play sport, do whatever we wanted. I'd end up being really angry, with really no reason to be so. Some call it just being a teenager, but really, I'd just wake up, be angry at mum and dad for no reason whatsoever, have broken relationships. My brother and I didn't get along that well. I'd be mean to people at school, pick on people, because that's just what everyone else did, and wouldn't try to be any different. It's just what I was going along with. And really, there's a lot of people that would sit there and go, you were just an absolute dirtbag. And yeah, you'd be 100% right, because that was who I was. But it all ended up changing for me when I started in year 10, where I started gaining a little bit of independence, but I was able to learn more about God, and it came through me going to Kick. It really is the first time so many of us get to fully understand and appreciate God's love for us in a sermon that is tailored towards us specifically. And for me, that's where everything changed. The series that weekend was all about God's love for us, the fact that I could call myself a Christian because I knew that God loved me regardless of all of my faults. It was something that really clicked for me that night, and that's when I became a Christian and gave myself to the Lord. And it's amazing to see how good God is in your life by what he can do to help you and change you as a person. I went from being someone who would swear like a trooper to, within a week, haven't sworn since, from that day in year 10. And people noticed that. They noticed it. They wanted to know what was different. And it was all because of God's love for me. And that ends up being, to me, what Easter is all about. While the chocolate is still good, even though my body doesn't agree with it, it's all about how God sent his only son to die for us and take our place so that we can have a relationship with him. I'm Rob, and this is my Easter story.